shuns the censorship that is rooted in political correctness and speaks the plain common sense truth that so many have been longing to hear. The mainstream press expected this to end his candidacy early on, but it did just the opposite. He has soared in the polls and for many months has been the front runner in the GOP field. You know, Liberty is unique as an institution because unlike most nonprofit universities, we try to operate like a business, emphasizing efficiency, treating students like customers. As general counsel here, in my younger years, I spent many days negotiating with creditors and spent many weekends begging and borrowing from donors and lenders to cover the paychecks that had already been issued on the Friday before. But applying common sense business principles with an entrepreneurial spirit finally brought success. In just the last 5 years, Liberty has gained the respect of Wall Street, exceeding $2 billion in assets, and became one of only about 70 universities nationally rated AA or AAA by both Standard & Poor's and Moody's. The Chronicle of Higher Education in February of last year said that Liberty's business model just might be the future of higher education in this country. That's in contrast to many universities in this country that compromised their missions, abandoned their original purposes just to get the money they needed or wanted from donors. Money that came with strings attached, objectionable strings in many cases. I'm proud that Liberty is now strong enough financially to refuse gifts if they come with objectionable conditions. And it is clear to me that Donald Trump is the only candidate in this national election that can make that same claim. He cannot be bought. He's not a puppet on a string like many other candidates. Not a puppet on a string like many other candidates who have wealthy donors as their puppet masters. And that's a key reason why so many new voters are attracted to him. Imagine how wonderful it would be for once that the United States of America had as its president a man who not only refused contributions, a man or a woman who not only refused contributions, but who has built companies from scratch, who knows what it feels like to be solely responsible for finding the money each week to cover payroll, who runs the nation with the same entrepreneurial business principles that have brought success to their own companies. For decades, conservatives and evangelicals have chosen the political candidates who have told us what we wanted to hear on social, religious, and political issues, only to be betrayed by those same candidates after they were elected. Our local congressman, Robert Hurt, is here today with his two sons. Congressman Hurt, would you please stand? Robert Hurt recently made the shocking announcement that he would not run for re-election representing Virginia's 5th District in the U.S. House of Representatives, despite his popularity with constituents. He told the Washington Post, "When I think back on my first run for public office, I never envisioned making this a career. I ran because I believed then, as I do now, that every citizen should contribute in his or her own way to ensure a vibrant representative democracy. But I also believe then, as I do now, that it is not our elected leaders who make our country great. It is rather the private citizen and the private economy that make this country great." You know, our founding fathers envisioned a nation governed by citizen legislators. And I believe that the polls are indicating to us now that the American public is finally ready to elect a candidate who is not a career politician, but rather who has succeeded in real life. Please welcome back to Liberty University, Mr. Donald Trump.
You get those teleprompters out of here, we're going to have some fun. We have a president, you know, our president, and I'm not talking about this president, I'm talking about that president. We don't like those teleprompters. I will say this, it's an honor to be here, and especially on Martin Luther King Day, We broke the record. You know, we had the record for about 3 or 4 years the last time. And the first thing I said to Jerry and Becky when I got here, did we break the record? They said, yes, you did, by quite a bit. So we'll dedicate that to Martin Luther King, a great man. And that's a little bit of an achievement. I will thank you. It's an honor to be here. It's an amazing story what's gone on with Liberty University. I mean, when you think of all of the years, and the early years were not easy. I read a lot about it and I've watched it. And Liberty University is like a rocket ship, a really great rocket ship. And what Jerry has done, and I knew his father a little bit, and I have to tell you, I knew his father a lot from the standpoint of what he did. And to be compared to his father, just a little bit, to be compared to his father is really an honor for me. So I want to thank Jerry for saying that.